to see how much material we need to cut, first you need the length of the shirt, and on this pattern it's 39 and 40 plus the seam allowance. So when you do the final hem, it's 39. And you also take the width, this is half of the pattern, so the bottom of the shirt here is 13, double that would be 26 inch. So you need 26 inches across here, and then you can fold that in half. So now we'll measure the material first to see the width. Okay, now as you can see, this material has a border, and it's quite tricky because the print is slightly slanted, but I've leveled the material out here from this side, and because this was 45 inches wide, we'll have to take out, and there's border on both sides, so I want a border on the bottom of both sides, so I will have to take out the front from this side, take it out one at a time, then bring this material back over. I'll show you. So let's do the first bit, which is, so I've taken, remember I said you need the bottom width, so I've measured double of this. So if you can see, I have my seam allowance and the widest width of my shirt, and this is enough. The next thing I'm going to do is pin this up together. I usually place something heavy on the material and the pattern so it doesn't move out of place while I'm pinning it. Make sure it's exactly on point at the bottom, and now we will start to pin the pattern, starting from the bottom up and keeping the pattern on the fold. At the same time making sure that it's on the fold and there's no gaps in between. Now you take off the pins, and this is the back piece, the back part, and you write on it with your chalk. Back. And you just put it to the side for now. And we will do exactly the same for the front part. So now you've cut two pieces exactly the same, the front and the back. The back bit's folded here. Now remember we had the front armhole which was cut deeper. So please all do this with a pin. Make sure you pin your pattern when you're doing this step. So if you can see, I've placed it back on the fold, and then now I will mark it with, just checking that it's on the fold. Right, now it is. and make sure both pieces, my material's a little bit slippery, that's why it's slightly moving. I'll just straighten that up. So what we're aiming to do here is mark that extra, the inner deep hole. Just put something there so it doesn't move. And you can just mark it with a chalk, and then you can cut these out. As I said before, please repin all your pattern when you're doing this step. I'm just doing this for the video, and if you can see here, you may not be able to see as clearly, but I will just show you. Make sure that both pieces are attached. I'll just put this here so it doesn't move, and you lift both pieces and you cut out the deep inner armhole. And we label this the front. In case your chalk rubs out, the difference will be that the front armhole will be cut deeper than the back. Sleeves, as you can see, I took out the front part from here and the back because I wanted the border. So this print came. Sometimes these fancy materials with borders, they come in ready cut sizes, so when you're buying the material, make sure that you have enough length for the front and back of your shirt and enough material left for sleeves. So with this one, we're not really left with much. So first thing I'll do is just cut off this extra bit, and I think I may add on a border, or I'll show you anyway. But once I've cut this material off, I was hoping that once I had cut off, you know, the back and the front, then I may have been left with some material in the middle for sleeves, but obviously not. So what I'll do is I will just take off the border because it won't come in. Because if you look at my sleeve pattern, if I make it this way or this way, then I could get the border in, but there's a cut, so there'll be a seam, which won't look nice here. The only other thing is I could make it this length and then maybe add on the border on the end, but we'll see. The first thing I'll do is chop off the border on both pieces. I can hold that together. But with flimsy material like this, you have to be very careful. It tends to move quite a lot. I'll just use that as a rough guide for a straight line. Let's have a look. It's okay. Now I will cut the sleeves. As you can see, I've cut two pieces. It's important to always cut the sleeves with two separate pieces. I'll just separate that now. It needs to be a little bit uneven, but I will lay out the pattern on this. So even if it's a little bit uneven, sometimes it comes cut uneven. We will pin the sleeves, and you do this one by one. So you cut both sleeves separately, sometimes some people will double this material, never double the material because it will be very uneven. So now you have your two pieces, and I know it takes long, but it's better to have a neater product in the end. Okay, now I've pinned both sleeves together because they were all cut the same side, and make sure that they're inside out, the shiny sides in or the correct sides in. After pinning together, I will lift this and I will get my pattern. Remember how we had the inner? So look, these are all pinned together so nothing moves out of place. Then you place the pattern exactly in the same way on the fold, and you chalk out the inner curve exactly how we did with the front sleeve armhole for the shirt. Now, you may not be able to see the line, but you have an idea of what I'm doing. Now, very carefully, only lift two pieces. Before I show you this, I'll just show you again. You have one sleeve and two sleeves, and the fold is here. They're both, as you can see, two separate sleeves, not four pieces. Now I've lifted the front after pinning together or holding together. I've drawn out the curve of the inner arm. Now I lift two pieces only from the middle, and I leave the back. I don't cut that. And very carefully, if you don't feel confident, you can place this on a table like this, in case you're worried about cutting it jaggedy. I'm having a bit of problem with my scissors. I think that someone may have used them for paper. And as you can see, the back bit's okay. Here's your two sleeves. I'll take out the pin and I'll show you what I mean. If you look now, you have, I'm not sure if you can see the colour because it's a bright colour, but here's your front armholes and there's your back, and these are your two sleeves complete. Here are all my cut pieces for the shirt. As you can see, the back part, the front part, and the two sleeves. And as you can see on the side, there's probably lots of material. I may keep this for the border of the cuff. I may decide later on, as long as I have enough. I think I will. I can add that. But at the moment, it's very important that you don't get mixed up with the leftover material. So fold everything and tie it together. Keep it together. So these are your back and front of your shirt. And your sleeves, and take a strip of material tie it together, or you can keep it in a bag. So you remember, and these are all the leftovers. It's very easy to get mixed up.